Hey, what's up guys? This is QaSH Solutions and I have an amazing trading script that I want to show you. This script is called QaSH DCA Daytrader and it is basically 4 scripts in one because it has 4 different entry conditions that you can choose from, and all of them are DCA strategies. So it incorporates a custom entry condition with multiple DCA orders per entry. If that doesn't make sense to you, then it'll all start to make sense as I go through it. In my last video, I went over the Ichimoku Cloud strategy with the DCA orders incorporated into it. A lot of the functionality here is going to be the same, except I have different entry conditions that you can choose from. So the entry condition that I want to show you today is the Quickfingers Luc entry condition. So the whole premise behind Quickfingers Luc strategy is if you have a coin that is showing that it has buyers in the market, then when it drops, it's likely to bounce back up. So the way you define that is if you have price that is dropping down and bouncing, then that means you have buyers in the market. Price goes down and it bounces, that means you have buyers. That means price is at a discount and there's a lot of people who see that discount and they want to buy the dip, and it pushes the price back up. So when that happens, you define a new base, a support line if you will, and if price dips below that, then it will start buying at a discount. Okay, and the way that you define the bases is adjustable. So let's take a look at this. If you select ASAP entry mode, then this is the entry condition setting that you can use. If you select one of the pivot point entries, then you can change these settings. If you select Quickfingers Luc, then you can scroll down and these are the settings that you want to play with, and all the settings below that, and yeah, anything above here as well. So first up we have the base periods. We have 20 defined as our base periods. So that means that you want to look at least 20 bars in order to create a new base. Okay, so all the calculations that occur here, they have to occur over the course of 20 bars. Next you have your reversal confirmation. You have that set to 7 right now. So what that means is you have a bounce that occurs after you hit your new low, and that bounce needs to occur over the course of 7 bars. So let me go ahead and zoom in and show you what I mean by that. Zoom in. Okay, here we go. Right here we created a base. So these orange lines are the base. Price was going up, price dipped, price made a new bottom right here on this candle, right? And then it went up, and it went up over the course of 7 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then you have this setting, which is bounce from base %. That's set to 5. So that means if the price goes up at least 5% from the previous bottom, then it is a valid entry condition. And I don't know if you can see the faint blue line here, but that tells you that it recognized that we're in a new entry condition and we're going to submit our long orders. These blue lines are the long orders. There's 1, 2, 3. Okay, the placement of these blue lines is adjustable, but when the entry condition occurs, it will send you an alert, and the alert will tell you what price to place each of these blue lines at, and you can forward that to your automation service to place the limit orders. So then what that means is that this orange line is not created here. I mean, it's drawn to that point, but in real time let's see if it works when I put it in replay mode. So we'll take a look at this. Okay, so putting it in replay mode will show you what the indicator would have done in real time. So right here we have our dip, right? Our dip is starting here, and we move forward in time. And if you notice, this was the candle where the base was created, but we don't have our orange line yet because we have not had our bounce yet. So when the bounce has occurred, the way that we defined it, there. Now we have created our new base, and let's see if it creates the line. Okay, so it does not start plotting the line until here, and the placement of this line is based on this candle. And if you look at this, we can turn on some additional information here. So this purple line will show you the location of where the base is going to be plotted. So it tracks the location of all the bottoms, and then it doesn't convert into a legit base until the bounce has occurred. Okay, so let's go ahead and play with the settings a little bit. We have our base period set to 20. Let's go ahead and set it to 4 because we're in a bull market. We want to have more trades because this is a long only strategy. You can set this to turn on short trades if you want to, but for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to do that because we're using a Quickfingers Luc strategy, which is pretty much designed for going long. Now if you look, my P&L just bumped up from around 90-ish%, whatever it was, and now it's up to 170%, right? So that looks pretty good. There's a lot of drawdown, 41%. Now if I look down here, currently I have my stop loss turned on. The Quickfingers Luc strategy actually does not use a stop loss, as far as I'm aware. I include it because people like to use it, and it's a good risk management tool. But let's turn it off for now because I know that this is a bull market period that I'm backtesting on, and I'm trying to fit my settings to a bull market right now just for the purposes of this video. So now we have an amazing backtest. I turned off my stop loss. Now we're going at 430% profit and 81% profitable. Now one thing to keep in mind with this 81% profitable figure, it counts every single trade. It counts every DCA order as a new trade. So let me turn off replay mode. Okay, replay mode is turned off. Let me go over here. Let me look at a different trade. If you'll notice that some of these trades actually take a long time. Right here I have the longest held position is 7,000 bars, and these are 30-minute bars. So sometimes it calls out a base and it's not a real base, right? And price is not going to bounce up high enough. And sometimes price will go down against you. And if you're not using a stop loss, then that's going to mean that you're just holding a red bag for a long time until eventually it does hit take profit. And that is something to keep in mind with this beautiful equity curve here. It does not show you unrealized gains. This equity curve will only show you realized gains, which means if you are in the middle of a trade and the trade is going down, that will not be shown on this equity curve because this equity curve only shows you the net result after you have closed the trade, whether you take profit or stop loss. If you hit a take profit, this will go up. If you hit a stop loss, this will go down. And that is all that this curve shows you. Next, I want to talk about this 81% profitable trades. If you look over here, Okay, here's an example. I hit 2 layers here. Yeah, I think I hit 2 layers here. So the bot reset here, and then layer 1 was like on the first candle, so it went down and filled layer 1 here, and then it went down farther and filled here. So now we have what this 81% does is it counts that as 2 trades. So there's a trade here and there's a trade here, and it's saying that both of them closed in profit because price was above both of them when it took profit. But if it fills 3 layers with these settings, then layer 3 is all the way down here, and the take profit price is probably all the way down here, which is below layer 1. So that will be counted as a loss, and that gives me my 81% profitable. If I go ahead and adjust this, let me show you what happens. If I choose more aggressive settings, set this to 1, 3, 5, right? So these are the order placements. What I just did is I raised these orders up closer so that they can catch smaller dips. Okay, there we go. It loaded, and now you'll notice that these lines are actually closer together than they used to be. They're at a 1% drop, a 3% drop, and a 5% drop. And now, if price closes, look at this one. Now you'll notice that when price goes down and hits 1, 2, 3, it moves the take profit price to here. This is the final take profit price after it has filled all 3 orders, and it is actually above all 3 of those orders. It's above 1, 2, and 3. So what that translates to is 100% profitable trades, because I'm not using a stop loss and all of them are closing in profit. So this is what it's going to show. It'll show an unrealistically beautiful equity curve and a 100% profitable trades. Let's see what happens if I turn on commissions. Set this to match Binance commission fees, 0.1%. Okay, it hurt our net profit a little bit. It went from 450% down to 421%, and now we have a drawdown of 0.06%. So I think that's the commissions that's causing that, but we're still closing every trade in profit. Okay, now let's see if we can improve on this even more. So right now we're using the Quickfingers Luc mode, but we also know that we're backtesting on a bull market. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see if I can adjust these settings to overfit basically to the bull market. So if you're expecting a bull market to happen in the near future, because really with these automated scripts you always have to come to the table with a little bit of bias as to what kind of settings you should use, right? Different settings work better in different markets. So if you think that a bull market is coming, then let's go ahead and set this to really aggressive bull market bias settings. So I'm going to set this to ASAP, which means it's no longer going to create bases and place orders below the base. Instead, what it now does is it takes profit, and then exactly 2 bars later it starts a new trade. Okay, and then one setting that you can change with this entry mode is you can change your reset price location, which is this line here. So what that does is if price goes up without filling any of your orders, right? So if instead of price going down to fill layer 1, if price just continued to go up without filling layer 1, then if it touches this line, then it'll reset again and it'll move the layers up. So let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to keep short trades off again, just like before, because we're in a bull market, so having as many long trades as possible will probably give you more profit. Let's set this to be even more aggressive to 0.5, and we'll set this to 2 and 4% drops. Let's bump up our trade size a little bit because we have a little bit of wiggle room here. Let's set it to 20, 30, and 50. Okay, so layer 1 will be 20% of your account, layer 2 is 30% of your account, and layer 3 will be the rest of your account. And we are not using any margin here. And would you look at that? Now we're at 2,000% profit because we made it so aggressive. Okay, let's see if we can improve this any more. We don't have a stop loss. So these are our take profit percentages. So if layer 1 fills, then it'll set a take profit of 10%. If layer 2 fills, it'll set 8%. If layer 3 fills, it'll set the take profit to 4%. And all of those percentages are based on your break-even price, which is this gray line here. This is your average entry cost after you've considered all the layers that have filled so far. So let's go back to there. Let's see if we can start closing trades more frequently. So we'll set this to maybe 8, 6, 4. Okay, that did not help me at all. Let's set it to 8, 8, 8 because I know those settings worked really well in the last video that I made. Okay, now we're sitting at 2,400% profit. It's going to be hard to bump it up any more than that, but let's keep trying. So this is our long entry condition filter. You can set this filter to work on any of the 4 entry conditions up here, and you can also pull your data from any time frame you want. Right now it's set to use the daily EMA to use as a filter, and this is the long filter, and then down here is the short filter. Okay, so they're independent of each other, and you can set them both however you want to filter out the long and the short trades. So I'm going to keep it as the daily EMA. I'm going to use a 10-day EMA, and I'm going to filter out any long trades that occur above the 10-day EMA, but I'm going to multiply the 10-day EMA by 1.3. So if price pumps up really high and it's bound to crash soon, that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to filter out trades that happen under that condition. And would you look at that? We've got 3,100% profit. Okay, now that was my goal. My goal was to beat the ridiculous buy and hold return that Ethereum had during this 2-year period. Let's see here. Buy and hold return for Ethereum was 3,000%. That's ridiculous. And with these settings, you can beat the buy and hold return during that bull market. Okay, so does that mean that you should use these settings? Well, no. What that means is that this indicator has a wide variety of settings that you can use under a variety of market conditions. If you're in, if you think that a bull market is coming, then you can consider making your settings a little closer to being like this. If you think a bear market is coming, then you don't want to do this, and you should make your settings more conservative. You should use your stop loss, and you should have your orders be farther apart, possibly, depending on what you're trying to do. Okay, I don't know if I said this already, but one thing to keep in mind when you're not using a stop loss is that sometimes this will happen, right? Sometimes, especially if you're using really aggressive settings like this, sometimes you'll hit the top, right? You'll hit the top, and then price will go down, and it will never return, right? It just goes down, 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 and it hangs out down here for seemingly forever, right? And meanwhile, you've already filled all of your orders, and your take profit price is all the way up here near the all-time high, and you gotta wait a couple months before price finally comes back, right? So if you're not using a stop loss, then that is the trade-off that you have to make, right? So you need to be under the assumption that price is going to come back if you're going to use settings like that. And that is not going to show on this equity curve because it does not show unrealized gains. And if you don't know what that means, right here you have unrealized gains that are negative. Okay, I'm coming back real quick because I should have shown you guys another major feature. This strategy can also go short. Okay, so I'm going to turn on short trades and show you what happens. Let's say I want it to go short, and for short entries I want to filter out anything that occurs above the 50-day EMA. Okay, so let's turn that on and see what happens. Okay, I got a warning window that tells me you have long and short trades enabled, but you don't have a stop loss turned on. So that's going to cause problems. So let's turn this on and set the stop loss to, what should I do, 8%? Sure, let's do 8%. So now when it updates, it's going to show you that it's only allowed to enter long trades when it's in this range, when it's below this yellow line, and it's only allowed to enter short trades when it's below this green line. Okay, now that was actually not a very good setup because both of them are activated down here, right? It's signaling both long and short here, so it doesn't know what to do. So let's make this a little bit simpler. Let's filter out any long trades that occur below the 10-day EMA. Okay, and let's wait for that to update. Okay, now we have something a little bit better, and I don't like these settings. I don't like the P&L that I'm getting here, but the point that I'm trying to make is you can do long and short trades. And let's zoom in here to take a look. You've got these blue lines to signify you've got a long trade and your take profit is above the price action. But down here, take profit is below the price action, and you can see that there's purple DCA lines here. So that signifies you're in a short trade. And this price action here is not very pretty. It just hit stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. But when you're in a bullish trend, it is making money. Okay, so that concludes this video. If you have questions, please reach out to me on Discord. The link is in the description. If you want access to the scripts, I give out trials, and also the Patreon link is in the description. Also, for this particular script, I have a backtester that I provide for free. No trial necessary, no payments necessary. If you want to backtest this strategy and play around with the settings, I will put the link to the backtester in the description. And this video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor.